Unlike fanny packs, bowl cuts, and troll dolls, the sensation is back, only at Zaxby's. The Sensation Salad and the new Sensation Filet Sandwich features hand-breaded chicken, Asian slaw, wonton strips, and citrus vinaigrette, and both are served with an egg roll. The Sensation Salad and the new Sensation Filet Sandwich meal for a limited time only at Zaxby's. And skip the line when you order ahead on the Zaxby's app or on Zaxby's.com.
From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
WarChant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up War Chant, presented by Zaxby's
Now here's WarChant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Don't sweat the technique.
Wake up! What's up, everybody? It's Wake Up War Chant, presented by Zaxby's. I'm Aslan alongside Corey. We're in the Southtown offices. We're south of the Capitol, right? Something like that?
Yeah, I'm not great with directions, I'll be honest with you. We're somewhere near the Capitol. Somewhere.
We're south of it, I think.
You don't think we're west? Or
No,
east?
say that we're definitely
we're east.
Southeast of it.
Yeah, okay, all right.
We're not disclosing our location specifically.
You can't
but
know.
We're here. Show, as always, proudly presented to you folks by Zaxby's. Indescribably good. Shout out to FSU Haired on the Twitter machine, Corey.
Okay.
Tweets at Wake Up War Chant. The defense, I can't talk today, might not be able to tackle, but this big Zax snack sure did tackle my hunger and hashtag wake up my taste buds.
Okay.
I
Man,
see
we
FSU Haired.
we got the best listeners on the planet,
We
man.
do.
They do our work for us.
I know.
You don't get any money, though,
No.
but we appreciate you helping us out.
Submit your picks for the over-under on Friday, and you might be able to get a free salad or 5 free chicken fingers, though. I can offer that. Up, possibly.
That's right, you can.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the Knowles. This is what we do on this program. I did see on the Tribal Council on warchant.com, if you're not a member, use the promo code WARCHANT30 for 30 free days of access to the Ultimate Seminole Sports Source. Apparently, Paul Feinbaum was on the show called Get Up, not to be confused with Wake Up. And
Get Up.
Apparently, of all the things to talk about in intercollegiate tackle football on the varsity level, he brings up the contract of Willie Taggart, which is crazy.
That seems odd. Georgia, Notre Dame playing this weekend. Auburn, Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Florida State's head coach.
Right. I wonder
That's
if they
weird.
listen to somebody from ESPN listen to our show.
I mean, probably. Wouldn't you if you were at ESPN? If you wanted to get the pulse of what's going on, kind of in the country. Certainly in Florida State, but I think we're well-rounded. We talk about everything. You would listen to this show first. And only probably. Maybe headlines, but definitely this show first.
So, I found that interesting.
Yeah.
I even heard the other day, starting the show, Mike Greenberg's like, get up!
Oh,
Whoa.
man, it's taking over the world.
Whoa. Hey, man.
Did we copyright that? We need to if we haven't.
The Wake
Yeah,
Up Orchard.
well, just the inflection that we say our show with. You can't steal that. That's our intellectual property.
Corey's going on hour number 7.5. Approaching about hour number 8 of continuously talking or thinking about Florida State in a singular day.
Mm-hmm. Tuesdays are always going to be like this, and the last couple weeks I got a reprieve and didn't do the War Chant report. Ira was doing it, but this week, since I'm in town, I decided to grace the studio with my presence, and 2 hours of headlines, about 30 minutes of this, and now we're doing this. It's but look, I got a lot of fresh takes, people.
Okay.
This is all different. I'm not the stuff you hear today won't be on any other platform. This is all for you guys.
And you're not hedging, like you're not like being hypocritical. You have fresh takes that are somewhat consistent though throughout your belief system.
Oh yeah, I don't just depending on the day change my mind. I got a lot of different fresh takes. I want to get back to the Tennessee kid with the shirt. I got some fun texts about that. But no, I'll try to do my best, folks. I'm on fumes, but I'm going to try to do my best.
Speaking of which, Stuart Wilkes on the Twitter machine. Wake up, guys, from Troy, Alabama. Heard the story of the kid wearing that homemade Tennessee shirt and the Vols offering him a 4-year scholarship. My kids get bullied and made fun of all the time for wearing FSU shirts up here. Think they can get a scholarship to FSU.
Well, if you make it look ridiculous enough, probably.
All right, so we're at practice on Tuesday. Tuesday is offensive day, if you will. We get to speak to Kendall and selected players. I think it was just Brady, Scott, and James Blackman were the two delegates.
I think that was it,
from
yeah.
the offensive side of the football. But let's start on defense because I think that's what everybody's concerned about, right?
Sure. rightly.
I guess Leavitt watch has begun. He's out there. He's watching, monitoring, evaluating. And I don't know. This is so crazy. I don't know how to give credit where credit's due. I guess we can ask Harlan when we speak to him later today on Wednesday. But it's genius almost to a certain degree. I don't know how good Jaden Lars Woodby really is. I know he's a great kid. He's a great ambassador for the university. Ultimately, I don't know what kind of football player he is. Probably above average. I don't know if he's quite a difference maker or will be able to fill the vast potential of being a 5-star recruit. But apparently, from the Hawkeye of Ira Schofel, our managing editor, it appears that, and then, again, this is such a simple sort of swap, and it seems to make so much sense. They've moved Lars Woodby from the inside linebacker position to that outside spot that Leonard Warner was, and then Warner takes over Lars Woodby's spot on the inside. To me, that just seems like ingenious, and I'm being sincere.
I mean, not as ingenious as much as maybe obvious.
I never thought about that.
Oh, I thought it was odd to me that Woodby was always an inside linebacker just because of his size. I thought that was a little odd. But do you think it was the wheel route where my man? I mean, look, that's a tough cover for any linebacker in the country. That's a receiver, and he's good. He's fast. But a 245-pound linebacker in that spot has zero chance. Zero. We would have had a better chance, or as good a chance, I should say. So do you think Leavitt saw that? It's like, hey, what? Why is he at that position? Why wouldn't we have 6 there who has coverage skills? And maybe they say, well, we like Leonard at this because he maybe rushes the passer better, he sets the edge better. And maybe Leavitt's like, well, I don't see that either. Like, why don't we is it Leavitt seeing that, do you think? The eye in the sky, or just looking at the film saying, guys, you're not getting what you need out of 6. And honestly, 35 hasn't done much of anything. He plays a lot of snaps, but neither one of them have done a whole lot that you really notice during the course of 3 games. Maybe they're not suited for their roles. And is that Leavitt with a fresh look, looking at, from an outside perspective, saying, why are y'all doing this again? Why don't y'all switch them? And then they go, well, yeah, let's try it. Okay, that's a good idea. Do you think that had something? You think that's a
going into this sort of segment, if you will, that was kind of my belief, that he probably saw that and was like, well, shoot, why don't you just flip him around? And everybody's like, that's actually not a bad idea, Jim. I do wonder – that was something that, Willie's body language. Willie wears his emotions on his sleeves, or his sleeve. And I think when he was asked about that during the Monday press conference about, what happens there, he did seem pretty hurt about that. Like that touchdown that Virginia scored in that manner seemed to have kind of stuck with him. So I don't know how much of that was him maybe saying, hey, what can we do to avoid this from happening? And then Jim's like, well, hey, we can do this. But I imagine at some point in their conversation occurring at the Moore Center that Jim Leavitt was like, hey, can I raise my hand here?
Yeah.
I think
I wonder if he asked to raise his hand or he just pipes up.
Right. Well, he's just here to help Harlan.
Sure.
Whatever I can do to help
You're not even allowed to coach, really, is he? So we'll see.
I think that's – you got to give credit, again, to Willie for – I don't want to say being reactionary, but for being just open to trying things. I mean, again, this is the defensive side of the ball. Other guys have say-so in that. It has to be encouraging when you see issues. They're not just rolling the same guys out.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I agree. And, I think it's a good thing in a weird way that he's shown that he won't play. And I know it's a completely different topic, but he won't take DJ on a trip with him. He won't take Levante. He won't let Levante play. Like, there's some real punishment.
He's going to make him dress. You got to dress.
You got to dress and look like you're going to play, but not. I don't know. I think it's bad. It's a bad sign that he's having to do that, but it's a good sign to me that he is doing it, that there is some accountability there at least, and there is some real punishment. Got to figure out those penalties, but there's some real punishment there. And, yeah, Willie's shown an ability to try different things, man. I mean, how many different coaches does he have after 1 year? 3? So, he's shown some ability to try, so he's fighting for his life and fighting for his job and his livelihood. So he's trying to do whatever it takes. I don't think he's just going to sit idly by and watch his career crash. So he's going to try what he can.
Otherwise, on the defensive side of the ball, it did look like Stanford and Janaris were out there, which that's a nice sort of thing. I also wonder, too, maybe with Kando being out, although that's the opposite outside spot, the buck or whatever. I wonder if that maybe factors into Woodby moving or Lars would be moving.
You need some more athletes outside, man. I mean, Warner's not a prototypical Florida State linebacker, what you think of that, a guy that can really run and move. Obviously, 11, Robinson isn't either. He's a defensive lineman standing up.
How can you look that good? Like Janoris Robinson is a specimen.
Oh, he is, but it's
and
like
he's
he's
a man without an island. Like he has no.
Yeah.
He's not elite at anything.
No, and he's not necessarily agile. He might be kind of agile for his size, but he's not an agile person at that position. You got to figure Lars Woodby is if he's out there, outside a little bit. Warner obviously isn't very agile for his position. He's not fast. He's physical. They need some speed out wide, maybe, is what they're thinking. And you got to figure out a way, and I don't know how they're going to do it. We're going to see. You can't have Janoris playing 75 snaps a game. You can't. He's not built for it. Really, none of those guys. I mean, he's a defensive lineman, and you're having him stand up and run around a lot. He's not built for that. So you got to figure out a way, and maybe this is somehow they're getting to that where it's going to be Woodby, Gaynor, and Robinson rotating the three of them outside. I don't know, but you got to figure out a way to get Janoris some rest.
Let's take a quick break and let's talk about special teams, then we'll go talk about the offense.
You going to talk about my man Grodhouse?
Yeah, what's up with
the
that?
Road Groder? That's pretty good. The old Grodhouse. Yeah, saw him in warm-ups today. We don't get to watch hardly any of the practice on Tuesday, but I watched him because I didn't want to sprint to the other field to watch the nonsense that y'all film. Not that it's nonsense, but it is what it is,
I mean,
right?
it is.
So I was like, I'm going to stay here and watch this kid kick. And he kicked a 51-yarder that hit the building behind it. So it would have been good from
Dunlap indoor practice.
Yeah, it would have been good from 60. He tried a 60-yarder, kicked the tar out of it really high. He just hooked it left. But that kid has a thunderfoot. The kid that they signed last year does not. Okay. So moving forward, it's going to be interesting. Now, I don't know who's the most accurate, but I think Grodhouse, my man Grodhouse, has a chance. I think he's a sophomore. He has a chance to be doing this for a couple more years. I don't know if he's going to be the place kicker. He's certainly going to be the kickoff specialist. And then my man Tommy Martin with the punts. They did well in the. They've done well in special teams. They aren't an abject failure. They seem to be pretty good, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're actually good at special teams. That when we talk about how much better the offense is, through 3 games, I would say the special teams has made even more of a jump than the offense has. But wouldn't you say? Only because it was so bad last year.
But they kind of walked into it by,
just
honestly,
being competent.
Well, Logan Tyler being out. I think it's helped. I mean,
yeah.
the punting has been so much better.
Yeah, and he said, he hit a really nice one before in the fourth quarter against Louisa Monroe after his coach iced him with the timeout, and he still punted it well. And then
we want to make sure you have it blocked up properly, Corey.
Of course. And then he basically kind of led directly to that touchdown, the first or the second one, when he hit like a 50-something yarder down to their 6. Yeah. And the kid, he was kicking it so far that the kid kept fumbling the punts, but nobody was down there close enough to recover him.
Grodhouse, by the way, is listed at 6'2", 220 from Indian Lake, Ohio.
Oh, an Ohio kid.
That's great. Can you get a
What's he doing here? Does it have a bio on him? Am I going to have to do a Grodhouse story?
2018, worked with FSU specialists on the scout team.
But nothing about high school personal?
Nothing.
Oh, man, we got to get a real bio on my man Grodhouse. He's earned it.
I'll have to check. I think there's a media guide around here. We'll dig into it here. We'll come back. We'll talk about the offense right after this. Second half of the show is brought to you by Birch Orthodontics. For nearly 20 years, Birch Orthodontics has been providing world-class orthodontic care right here in Tallahassee. And they've been doing it with the kind of down-home customer service that keeps all of their clients smiling. Whether you or your loved one needs braces or Invisalign treatments, Dr. Heather Birch and her staff are trained in all of the latest techniques. And the best part is, they'll include you in every step of the decision-making process. They'll work with you to craft the perfect treatment plan and payment options to suit your needs. So if you're looking for family-friendly orthodontic care in a comfortable, stress-free environment, Birch Orthodontics isn't just your best choice, it's your only choice. Visit www.birchorthodontics.com. That's BURCH orthodontics.com for more information and to set up your free consultation today. Or you can call the office directly at 850-877-1692. 850-877-1692. Welcome back. It's Wake Up Board Champ presented by Zaxby's. I'm Aslan. Corey Clark also here. Follow him on Twitter, Corey_Clark. Corey with an E, because that's the way you're supposed to spell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Offense. Again,
no offense to Corey Durden, but still, he spells it incorrectly.
Yeah. I wonder where, I mean, maybe Dad wanted to call him Cody. Mom wanted Ryan.
So they settled for Corey without an E?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of Corys without E's, and it's really hurtful. I don't understand what people are thinking. It just looks better, Corey.
I agree.
It's a fuller word.
Mm-hmm.
It has more
vowels, which is important.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was going to say more gravitas, but more vowels too. Exactly right. One more vowel.
How do you spell Allen? Like, what's the proper way to spell Allen?
For a first name?
Yeah.
A-L-A-N. That's how my dad did it. It's his middle name, but it's A-L-A-N.
All right.
I think Allen, A-L-L-E-N, is a last name.
Right. My
Right?
cousin is A-L-L-E-N.
For a name?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
That was his middle name. Yeah.
Might as well call him Smith.
He's got a Persian first name, but he sold out on the family. Took his Anglo middle name.
Oh, okay. All right,
Coward.
well.
Coward. Actually, no, I love him. He's a good guy.
Good.
I think
Does
he's
he
got a
listen?
job promotion in Texas. I don't think so.
Okay.
He's a Southern Illinois Saluki.
Oh, all right. So he listens to Wake Up Salukis.
Whatever they do over there. Offensively, Kendall. I want to almost start off the interviews with Kendall of just, hey, I'm on your side. I like what you bring to the table.
You should do that. Like, hey, man, this has been a lot of fun getting to watch your offense. You do a really good job.
Because
I'm Aslan, by the way.
Because I do feel like he feels
I feel like he thinks you're attacking him almost with every question. And I think Willie does too. And I think some of it is maybe just the way your tone comes off when you're talking. But I don't think you're necessarily – no, most of the times you're not even asking all that pointed questions. But I think something about the way you phrase it or maybe just the tone – they think you're on the attack and they get defensive.
I think they see me as a worthy adversary physically. They're just like, all right, this guy.
That's probably it. Maybe a little intimidated by you, honestly, because look what we normally look like in the media. Look at everybody else that's around him, save for who? Like Brendan. Right. He's the only one that's Brendan from 247 is the only one that's in similar shape, I'd say, as you. To Sean, I guess. So yeah, I feel like they're probably intimidated by somebody that obviously takes care of his body and knows how to use it.
Kendall, I'm on your side, man. So
Kendall, I am too, buddy. This has been a lot of fun.
And this is the thing. I think a lot of fans want him to slow down. Like they feel like it's almost a fair ask. It's a just ask. And to that, what does Kendall say?
I'm going faster.
Yeah.
I don't care what we want to snap it with 38 on the clock. Look, here's the thing about that, man. Yeah, okay, they could slow it down a little bit. I think most people are just looking at that one drive in the fourth quarter against Virginia and saying, man, we had to give the ball right back to them in 12 seconds. They had just had the ball.
Was that before the go-ahead touchdown for Virginia? They went 3 and out?
Virginia you still had the lead because he missed the extra point.
Oh, yeah.
And you go 3 and out in about 12 seconds. And I'm sure everybody's like, man, they just had the ball for 15 plays. Now we used 36 seconds, and now they're right back on the field. Of course they're going to go back down the field and score. But look, the only way that this offense can be consistently successful is to do this. And he said it. He won't say it. He won't just completely kill his offensive lineman. He's not going to do that. But he basically says it when he says we have to do that. We have to go fast. That gives us our best chance. That gives us our best advantage. Because their best chance at blocking it up is for the defense to be tired or on its heels. And so that's what you have to do. And it has worked. You can't argue with the results. The defense is allowed to get off the field at some point. They didn't play a ton of plays in that game. They played like 70-something. It's the last 3 drives were, I think, 11, and 9 plays. So you had 31 plays in 3 drives because you can't get off the field. That's not the offense's fault. He's trying to score. He called up a play that a dude is running scot-free down the left side of the formation.
Boundary side.
For a wide-open touchdown that would have put you back up 31-23 with 5 minutes left. Maybe the guy was that wide open because they were going so fast and the secondary was confused.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on.
You can't just dismiss that and say slow it down and run clock. You got to score points, and you got to get first downs. And the best chance for this offense to do that is to go fast. The defense has to get off the field. That's the bottom line. And Blackman didn't see the kid streaking down the sideline and then made a bad throw to McKitty, or maybe we're still not having – if he makes a good throw to McKitty, we're not having the conversation. Maybe they do – maybe if they get that first down, they slow it down a little bit. Like maybe snap it with 16. I still don't think that's what they want to do. They want to go down the field and score. They don't want to run a 4.5-minute offense and give you the ball back. They want to go score and make you have to go score to tie the game.
Did he miss McKitty on that, or I know it wasn't the best throw, but I thought it hit McKitty's hand.
No, it was kind of low and behind him. It wasn't a good throw. He definitely missed that. I don't even know who was in the slot, but that dude was running free, and he missed him. And Kendall said as much because Ira asked him today, is he even supposed to be looking there? And he goes, well, yeah, that's our first read. He wasn't throwing James Blackman under the bus. He was answering a question because he did say he thought James played well for the most part, had a good game. But, yeah, that's a play that, that's a play that if you hit it, that's 7 points. The throw to Tamorian, that's 7 points. It's hard to have your quarterback leaving and he made some really good plays, and he extended some drives and made some nice throws on third down. It's hard to leave 14 points out there, man, and beat a good team.
He does seem I hate keeping using the word encouraged, but I mean, that's like kind of, it's either that or –
We're all encouraged these days, aren't we, buddy?
People want to know, hey, is this a week that maybe Hornibrook gets more snaps, more reps, the ones or something? Could we see maybe Jordan Travis emerge? And it's a fair question. Ira and I and you were talking about it kind of walking out of practice the other day. Like Ira and I are both sort of prepared to ask him something along the lines of, do you look at Alex after these sort of things happen? But I feel like he talked about James in a way that made it sound like he believes that James Blackman probably does give them the best chance right now.
Yeah, he seemed genuinely kind of. I mean, again, he's got to say that to us. He's not going to kill the quarterback in front of us, but he seemed genuinely pretty pleased with the way he played overall. And I just, we want Alex Hornibrook to be this guy that I just don't think he is. The only thing we don't know, obviously, we know he couldn't run the Wisconsin offense well. Maybe he is suited for this somehow. Maybe because this offense is just so much about seeing it quickly. You don't typically have to have a huge arm in these offenses to make it go. But, James Blackman has a huge arm, but he holds on to it a long time. He doesn't trust what he's seeing. But you have to imagine neither does Hornibrook, or Hornibrook would be playing, because I think Kendall's trying to be a head coach somewhere. He needs to score points, and I don't think winning games is that big a deal to him, honestly. I mean, I know he wants to win games, but scoring a ton of points is a big deal. And I just think that Hornibrook must not be showing them everything they'd want to see either, because obviously Blackman hasn't been great through 3 games. He's been average, I'd say, a little bit above average. He's made some nice plays and made some bad ones. But if you're going to continually miss guys that are open or running free, and we just know of a few that we actually see, who knows what's actually supposed to be the throw, then you would think maybe you'd think about making a switch. But that just tells me that Briles has no connection with James Blackman at all. Neither does Willie, for that much. I mean, Willie played DeAndre no matter what last year. No matter what. Yeah. So he doesn't have any great affinity for James Blackman being his starting quarterback. But the fact that he still is tells me that they know the second option. The second option isn't killing it in practice. Because if he was, I think he'd be in the game. And at this point, I wonder what that would do to the team if Blackman did get benched after a 3-touchdown, no interception performance.
And he's one of only 5 quarterbacks that's ever gone, or there was some stat they showed on the telecast where he's gone 5 games in a row now throwing 3 or more touchdowns.
Wow, is that true?
Yeah. And one of only maybe 3 or 4 other quarterbacks have ever done that at Florida State. Have gone 5 games in a row throwing 3 touchdowns.
I assume Jameis might be one. Charlie might. Chris Winkie is probably certainly one. Oh, that's an interesting stat. There you go, JB. Yeah. Take that and run with it. Have play with some confidence in the fourth quarter. What worries you about Blackman, though, at least me, I shouldn't speak for you or the Royal you, is it does seem when it's on the line in the fourth quarter, when things start to get tight, he has not shown an ability to make. He seems to kind of get flustered a little bit. Would you agree with that?
He made the right reads, or he made the right read to Tamori, and he made the bad throw. He stepped up.
I mean, that's not a bad throw. It's a horrific can't do it throw. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a bad throw.
Turning it over is like a terrible, horrific.
But in that moment, throwing to that kid, when you overshoot him by 10 yards and throw a line drive, that looked more like a panic throw, which just lob it out there, man. He is nowhere near him, and he sees the move. So he knows he's gone. Yeah. He knows he's dusted him.
I'm just trying. He's my guy.
Me too. And that's an inexcusable throw, but it doesn't mean he doesn't need to be playing. But I will say that in the Boise, the Louisiana Monroe game, and this Virginia game, to a certain extent, he just when it's on the line, when you have to have some first downs and a touchdown, he seems to not. He hasn't responded greatly through 3 games, and it's not all on the quarterback. I get that. But you can't say the Boise State game he really impressed you when Boise State started making a run. Things devolved. They devolved against Louisiana Monroe. He threw a terrible pick in the fourth quarter after – I'm not blaming him for the pick six, but the stuff in the fourth quarter I'll blame him on. And then against Virginia, that the 3-and-out after they almost tied the game and missed the extra point. And then that last drive, he completed one pass. They just moved down the field because of ridiculous Virginia penalties. Yeah, he missed every throw.
So I ask you this then. Do you think that he largely is hanging on to the job because they haven't seen enough out of Hornibrook, or do you think it is more the esoteric aspect, the teammate, don't lose a locker room if you bench a popular player?
No, I think it's the first. I think it's just that he's their best option. I don't think at this point that Kendall Briles and Willie Taggart can really care all that much about losing a locker room where, the starting quarterback's roommate couldn't make the trip. So maybe you're losing kids no matter what. Whether he's the starter, his roommate's the starting quarterback. He still did something to not make the trip. So does it really matter to him that James Blackman is a starter? I don't think you can coach like that necessarily. You got to give your team the best chance. You got to give your offense the best chance to move the ball, and they obviously think that Blackman is. And this sounds like I'm ripping Blackman. I'm not. I think he's had a decent 3 games. We knew, which is exactly what we expected, right? We didn't expect this guy to light the world on fire.
James Blackman is now tied with Bill Kappelman for consecutive games with 3 or more touchdowns, a record that was set in 1968. 5 consecutive games for Blackman now.
Okay. Bill's daughter, Georgia Kappelman, is a district attorney.
Yeah, I was about to say Virginia, but Georgia.
Yeah. It's easy for me to remember that because the great state.
Naturally. That's bizarre. Yeah, so even Jameson 13 had a game where he didn't throw 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. And he threw 40, I think. So, I don't wonder. I can't even imagine. Maybe the Miami game, I think he only threw 1 or 2 in the Miami game. Yeah. So that might have been it. I know the Pitt game, he threw the 3 to Nick O'Leary alone. Oh, man, the glory days. Aslan, you wouldn't have believed it. The sun was always high in the sky. The birds chirped louder. The crickets were non-existent. You didn't have to hear that nonsense. It just smelled better around Tallahassee. Everything. There's no traffic. Everything was perfect. Everything was wonderful. Blue skies every day, and
wasn't this hot?
Wasn't this? Folks, what is going on with the heat? We are in the middle of September, and it is 100 degrees outside. Literally 100 degrees. Yeah. What is going on?
I don't know.
I know people always say it was different in my childhood. It was this, it was that. It didn't used to get this hot, man. No. It just didn't. So, anyway.
Yeah, when again, the 90s, because you're like, oh, it's so hot, it's got to be at least 90 out. And then you look at the weather, and it's 86. You're like, okay, all right.
Yeah, 86, dramatic. It feels like 91. Now it's 100, and it feels like run. That's what it said on my phone today. Feels like run, get out of there.
Last thing, I guess maybe to pick your brain about Corey, just in terms of Kendall, the way his honesty, transparency, things of that nature. I don't think I think he's pretty open about things with us. Is it, I don't know, curious? What are your sort of, what's your takeaway when you do hear him talk about remaining committed to going tempo when his boss, this is 2 times that Willie said that, I want to hold on to the ball more. In some shape or form, he's kind of said something along the lines of that, right?
Yeah, it's a little odd to say, was the direct quote, I want to go faster? Did he say that or imply that?
I thought that was the implication. We can play the audio.
No, we're still not playing at the tempo we want to be able to play with. I think that's the biggest thing where we still need to continue to get better.
It seems like sometimes you guys are snapping it with 30 or more seconds left on the clock. How much faster can you get? And is it just not the consistency?
It all depends on what happened from the previous play. If the ball is in around the middle of the field, then you're able to play at a higher tempo.
Well, we don't have to. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. Maybe old Kendall didn't like being thrown under the mat for the non-spike there, the stuffed snap to Cam, the direct snap play on the last play of the game, and he's like, no, I'm going to go faster. But the reality is that I know when he says that, it makes him look like he doesn't care about the defense and he doesn't care about winning. But his sole job is to put points on the board and win the games. It's the head coach's job. Or put points on the board and score touchdowns. It's the head coach's job to figure out how it all works and especially when you're a CEO, be the orchestra conductor.
But that's Willie's thing, though. It was like, hey, you got to slow it down.
But I think Kendall's response, and I agree with this, is what does it matter? And maybe he wouldn't be this specific about it, but what does it matter when you play a zone so soft that you can't throw an incomplete pass? it doesn't matter if we have the ball for 4 minutes or 7 minutes. They're going to go right down the field and score. Virginia had 11 drives, 11 total.
Well, I guess the thing is, if you actually do hold on to the ball longer, Virginia can't take their sweet time and dink and dunk in the soft zone.
But they could. They could have gone. I mean, if they were in a hurry up, just throwing 7-yard passes, they just would have. They just took their time because they could. You know what I mean? Like, they just milked it going down the field because that's how they play. But you're about to play some spread teams that go fast.
I want to go fast.
I just think that your best chance, and it's not a great chance because I don't think your offense is quite there yet. It's good. It's better. It's not good yet. It's not a good offense. It's a better offense. Is to outscore teams, because you brought this guy in to do this. This is what he does. You can't then, after 3 games, say, well, we got to possess the ball more. Well, no. You need to figure out the other side of the ball, because what happens at the end of these games is just inexplicable. How bad they are.
You tell that guy to get me the ball more so that I have more opportunities to try to score you points.
Even if it means we give up a 72-yard touchdown in 3 plays. That's better than a 72-yard touchdown in 11 plays that takes 5 minutes off the clock. The reason they're on the field so much is because they can't get off the field. Virginia ran 70-something plays. That's not a lot in 2019. They just can't get off the field. So I don't think the one drive you could point to, in my opinion, is that one drive in the fourth quarter when they went 3 and out when Blackman missed the throw. But would it have mattered?
Throws,
yeah. Would it have mattered? It just wouldn't have mattered, in my opinion. I think they're going to go down the field and score no matter what. Your only chance to win that game, and I think Kendall knew it, and I think Willie knew it. What are you going to run out 5 minutes of clock time? Really? With Virginia having 3 timeouts or 2? No. How many amount of plays is that? Even if you're going slow, that's 14 plays. Yeah. You're not doing that. So their best chance to win that game is for the offense right there to not just drive it a few yards and punt, maybe get 3 first downs and punt, because then Virginia gets the ball back with 2.5 minutes left and all their timeouts. And were you stopping them? No. Your best chance was to go score. And that's how you're going to have to win these games, is go score. Louisville is going to score points on you in the fourth quarter. It is an automatic. I did the research. It's on warchant.com.
Check it out.
The first 40 minutes of football games this year, folks. The first 40 minutes of all 3 games. So the average.
You're going to give it away?
Yeah, I'll give it away. I don't care now at this point. It's old. The Florida State defense is giving up an average of 12 points per game through the first 40 minutes of every contest.
I like it.
The last 20 minutes, they're giving up 21 points a game.
It's not good.
At all. The first 40 minutes, they've forced 12 punts and 8 turnovers. 7 turnovers in 40 minutes, average of 40 minutes. So 12 punts, not great. But that's 4 punts a game through the first 40 minutes, and turnovers, 2 turnovers a game. So that's 6 stops a game. In the last 20 minutes, they forced 2 punts and 0 turnovers. So in the last 20 minutes of 3 games, they've gotten 2 stops. One was the punt right before overtime that Louisiana Monroe had. The other one was the Boise State punt after they converted the 3rd and 17. Those are the only 2 stops your defense has gotten at all in the last 20 minutes of a football game. That's preposterous. And that's not because your offense is just going so fast. The other offensive coordinator figures out, oh, this isn't the Florida State that I grew up watching. After about a quarter and a half, 2 quarters, they're like, oh, we can move it at will against these guys. They figure out what you're trying to do. They exploit the bejesus out of it, and they move right down the field and score. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to score. What would you say this weekend against Louisville? What's the number you got to get to win this game?
38.
This offense can't score 38 points unless it's going supersonic. It can't just line up in every 11 second, with 11 on the play clock, snap the ball. It can't. It has to go fast, and it has to overwhelm you with its speed. Not speed physically, it's the speed of the tempo.
Yeah.
That's the way they do it.
Or no?
What?
38, was that too high?
I think that's a good number because I don't expect Louisville to score less than – they're not scoring less than 30, you wouldn't think. We don't even know who their quarterback is, but I assume they're going to find some ways – to move the ball because everybody does. So you got to get to 38. You got to get to 38. You got to win offensive shootouts this season. You can't play to the defense when the defense doesn't stop anyone when it matters anyway.
Yeah. We mentioned it a few times on the show as we wrap things up here. I do think maybe this also kind of helps explain some of the soft zone stuff, is that now that when we're out there for individual drill, there is a much more pronounced effort to creating turnovers on this defense, stripping the ball. I mean, every dimension of the team outside the defensive line is running drills during individual about stripping the ball. So I do wonder how much of the soft zone stuff is, all right, let him complete it for 6 yards. let them have to do it 7 times, because if we have 7 opportunities to strip the ball out of these guys, we'll get it. And I know they haven't created a lot of fumbles. Most of these things have been interceptions. But I do think it's to the point where your defense can't bow up. They're not good at any one thing. You can't make teams one-dimensional. Even when you do make them one-dimensional and you stop the run the way you did against Virginia, you're like, all right, we dare you to pass on us. Well, boom, 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 they do it on you. I just think that I don't know if they'll ever admit this, but I do think they're almost fine with allowing 30 points on defense if they can just get 2 or 3 turnovers.
Yeah,
like I think that's kind of what they're resigned to.
Even if they don't get the turnovers, just get some stops in some form or fashion and go into a game knowing that.
Well, no, I don't think they can get stops. I don't think they can. They talk about. They've literally said it on a couple of times talking to us. We talk about it. Coach talked about one-play drives. Like they want to get on the field and they want to create a turnover immediately, because just trying to get guys making teams go 3 and out just doesn't happen.
Yeah, sure. And you got 30 points. They could live with 30. If you average giving up 30 points the rest of the season, you might get to a bowl. You probably would get to a bowl because you assume Clemson's going to be 60. So that means all those other teams are only scoring 21 or 20. But, yeah, I just think with the zone, man, I understand the principle behind it in a sense, but you have to play it better. That's a ridiculous zone. It makes me mad to think about it.
You're scaring me.
How easy those throws are. Literally how easy. He could have thrown them left-handed. He could have thrown them off his head. He could have kicked them there. There were many. He could have thrown them underhanded. Literally, he could have thrown them underhanded. There's nobody in the picture when these guys. It's so simple. You can't make it that simple. You have to make him at least fit it into some sort of a window. You don't need to be 9 yards behind the guy. Be 2 yards behind the guy. And then, like with the Terry catch, where he almost got it ripped out of his hands as he's falling to the ground. That guy's right on him as he's falling to the ground. Those Florida State guys are never near him. So figure it out. If you're going to play that much zone which you're terrible at, get better at it. Quit being so terrible. Because you're not good at man either. It's not like they, if they just play man, it seems like the other team just throws it down the sideline and you either give up a catch or you give up a pass interference. But good grief, at least then the game would go quicker. You'd get the ball back to your offense more.
You just that cadence right there of you saying something about you're looking terrible, stop being terrible, reminded me of Jimbo, USF, when he's like, only you could stop you. Stop stopping you.
In the locker room. Stop stopping you. Yeah.
I'm proud of you. I love you. But I'm being honest with you. You stop you. Nobody else does. A lot of people can't say that. You stop you. Quit stopping you.
Miss that guy. Hey, we got some good things to ask Harlan. Let's go and do that right now. Thanks for listening to Wake Up War Chant, presented by Zaxby's.
WarChant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. WarChant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WarChant30. That's WarChant30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WarChant30. WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.